Hello daisies and gentlemoos, I am the trusty cow. Now every day when we log in on Archeage, at some point we'll interact with one of the Daru, be it checking auctions, passing by on the way to Mirage Isle, or even participating in a seasonal event. There are always Daru nearby you somewhere, but even though these strange creatures are pretty much everywhere, very little is known about them. A lot of what I talk about today will be speculation and theory. However, there are some text in the game which can help to explain about this mysterious race. First, what are the Daru? The Daru seem to have no gender and seem to be confused at the very idea of it. In the quest Portal Trouble, you are tasked with creating a Fate Archean bundle to help stabilise a world gate. And the Daru says this:
"This would be the very special favours for the Daru, I thinks. He what goes down in history books as Queen of Portals. Or Kings of Portals, maybe. Sorry, you all look the same to Daru."
Suggesting the idea of gender is foreign to them. They are also rich. Incredibly rich. Probably the richest race on Ahnimar by miles. So rich in fact, they feel the need to bury it in Ahnimar and not give a care in the world when people gather to dig it up. They don't seem to want much gold either, but they are completely obsessed with Gilder stars.
You have skilled the starry stars by nice thing on Mirage Isle.
Now more than happy to part ways with ancient technological designs and items, but what do they use them for? They even run their own casino in Mirage Isle, complete with gambling machines and even a solid gold statue. Yeah, these guys are rich. Now, some have called them lizards, some have called them frogs. For the latter part, you're not far off. During the Ahnimar festival, you're tasked with helping to hatch Daru eggs, which are called Daru newt hatchlings. Newts in our world are a species of salamander. Their eggs look surprisingly similar to that of the Daru, but of course the same could be said for the frog eggs. However, what makes the Daru different from frogs are the lack of webbed feet, or the long tail like Daru have. So yeah, if I was to associate any real life creatures to the Daru, I'd say newts or semi-aquatic salamanders. But frog people is probably easier to say. Now, in the quest Daru Guild Request, the Daru claims they have visited different realms. We at the Daru Guild offer a variety of missions depending on guild needs. We reward participants with mysterious currency from other realms the Daru have visited. This goes with what a lot of people are saying, that the Daru are interdimensional beings. They seem to be able to travel across planets and realms, and bring back knowledge and goods from other places. With this in mind, I believe the Daru maybe visited our own planet one day, considering the Daru have knowledge of a lot of Earth holidays such as Christmas, including the Daru that calls himself Saint Clausy Claus. That is just a theory of mine, but considering they can travel to other realms and planets, it makes a bit of sense. Speaking of their ability to travel to other planets, Mirage Isle. Let us talk about this for a moment. The unofficial home of the Daru, and a place that we cannot seem to map on Ahnimar. I believe the reason is that Mirage Isle is on another planet. My reasoning is this: the position of the sun. Go to a spot at any time of day and position yourself facing north. Now, move your camera until you're facing the sun. Remember that angle. Now go to a spot on any other part of the map and do the same. Notice that you're facing roughly the same position when looking at the sun. Now, try to do the same on Mirage Isle. The sun is in a completely different position. This, along with the fact it's always daytime on Mirage Isle, and the sun is much closer than that of the sun on Ahnimar, makes me believe that the world founded by the Daru is not on Ahnimar. We also recently got some info about Daru and the dragons. Not knowing what to do, the emissaries of the Red Flight turned to the last ancient power left in the world, the Daru. A few had remembered the stories of the Ice Flight and had located the burial ground of the Heart of Frozen Flame. They retrieved the artifact and begged the Daru dragon trainers and priests to save their young, to re-empower their eggs with Archeage. But the trainers simply shook their heads.
Trainy train we can give,
They said.
but hatch is out of reach. No energy, no eggs.
But when a priest came close to the heart and the thorns of hatred pierced his mind, he knew that an energy so great could perhaps be twisted to some form of good. There was a chance. The dragons and Daru began to conspire, and their plan required another ally within the world, the dwarves of Irian Rock. Their machinery could perhaps be the tool that could remake this awful energy into something usable. But the dwarves demanded that the newly born dragons be given to their army, and only their army. The two powers refused, and the dwarves were enraged. Their soldiers began spreading lies to the newing dragon slayers, informing them that there was a clutch of eggs that would hatch and threaten their blossoming cities. The location of the eggs? Ahnimar, home of the Daru. The Daru immediately contacted the flight and informed them that the alliance was off. Now it was they who were in the crosshairs, and they could not afford a direct attack. But just as all hope seemed lost, the masterful Shadow Daru entered the meeting with his kin. What happened next will be preserved for all time in Daru history. The Shadow Daru and his society spread the rumours that the Daru had relocated the eggs to Mirawar Tundra, and the move would provide a perfect opportunity for the Nuian Dragon Slayers to strike. Their best warriors immediately opened a hereafter gate to the tundra, and there they found a black dragon and a green dragon waiting in ambush. Two warriors of other flights had offered up their lives for this very moment. Without hesitating, the warriors pulled back their bows and launched their scale-piercing arrows towards the great beasts. Then, with a loud crack, reality slinkers split around the dragons. It was an illusion, a reflection in the great mirror of Nuon. Sunlight reflected off the glass pieces and poured through the cracks. The magically amplified arrows had shattered the great mirror. The failing magical artifact acted as a prism and focused the energy squarely on the Heart of Frozen Flame hidden by the Shadow Daru. The resulting explosion knocked the Slayers off their feet. Enraged by the illusion, the Slayers turned and found the dragons hidden behind them. Again, they pulled their bows taut, but this time they struck scale. Arrows hit the two beasts from all sides, an ambush worthy of their nameless slayers. The black and green warriors fell to the ground, their breath barely escaping their failing lungs. But what was left of them blew over the Heart of Frozen Flame, and its colours began to shift wildly between red, black and green. Perfect memorial for those who gave their souls. The Slayers eventually left, their job completed, but the Daru collected the broken pieces of the mirror for themselves, and placed the fragments into a newly created machine that could reflect the light of the sun into the heart. And then they waited. They did not have to wait long. Flesh formed over the heart, and open eyes formed soon after. The fragment took on the light of life, and the first of the new generation of the Red Flight was born. But the other fragments of the frozen heart that glittered with the power of the green and black flights began to morph as well. And soon, the Daru found themselves with 3 dragons ready to claim their heritage. Now, where did the Daru come from? If you've not read the book given at the recent Ahnimar event, then the Daru history reads like this.
Very few Daru is blessed by the goddess. Becoming is a winged one. I is the last that I know of. So, I believe it is my sacred duties to share the Daru history with the dry skin races, like the Elfie Elves and Nuians.
They must know how important the Daru is. They must know about the God of Wings. Many, many lives ago, giant snaky beasts ruled all the creatures of the world. They kills many, but the Darus they keep extra special as delicious snacks. It is dark times for everyone, but most dark for the Daru. We almost losing all our hopes. But then, the God of Wings saves us. The God of Wings teaches the Daru about portals and how to escape the snaky beasts. With his helps, we run far away, finds a place only strong Daru portals can reach. We names it Mirage Isle. After we escaped, heroes from the other races do a great uprising to fight the snakes, and they throws them in the deep dark. I think it must be the God of Wings that helps them too, because once the fightings is all over, he appears to us and says we has a special mission. You must protect Ahnimar, says the God of Wings. It is very important, or the evils will return to our world, and we Daru is so honored. Out of all the races in the world, the God picks us for the most important job. So he settles in Ahnimar and makes it like a home to us. We know that we is not mighty warriors like some others, but we swears to use the gifts the God of Wing is giving us to uphold our duties. For a long time, we keeps our promise by hiding from the world. But when the Great Wars on Aurora sends all the peoples down to Nuya and Haranya, he knows that hiding is not being enough. Lucky for us, the Daru is much cleverness. So we use our portal and our safe place of Mirage Isle, and we helps the races, all the races. We makes portals for them, and we helps them trade, and we gives them designs for useful things, and we is so helpful and nice that soon they all needs us, and no one is ever thinking to attack the Daru. And that is why the Daru is friends to all, talk to all, buy and trade with all, because if all is friends of Daru, none is daring to attack us, or else the rest is squishing them. All Daru wise ones agree, is best way we can keep our promise to the God of Wings. Is best way to protect Ahnimar and stops the evils from returning. And I hopes that even after I dies, we Daru fulfills our mission for many, many lives.
From this story, we can gather a few things. Ahnimar is important to the protection of the world. Why? That I am not sure about. I've explored the area, but don't see any reason this zone has a special significance to the lore, perhaps in future updates. The Daru are probably originally from somewhere on Ahnimar. A lot of people speculate that because they are interdimensional beings, they came from somewhere else and settled on Ahnimar. But I believe they came from Ahnimar. I believe this is the case because the story states that they were being eaten by snake-like monsters. And in order to escape them, the God of Wings taught them about portals. That means before this event, the Daru would not have been able to travel long distances, so must have been from Ahnimar originally. Also, having seen this line of text that was translated from the novels that Archeage is based on, the first known currency used on the Lost Continent was the Delphinard or Guildestar. The currency is only used by some merchant class and warehouseman races, and is a popular currency on Mirage Island, where it is thought its inhabitants come from the ancient Lost Continent. The Lost Continent is a name often given to Aurora, so with that it would seem highly likely that the Daru originated somewhere on or around Aurora. The Daru, for the lack of a better word, have manipulated the other races from attacking them, through fear of retaliation from the rest of the races. The story does have an almost sinister tone from the lines, and that is why the Daru is friends to all, talk to all, buy and trade with all, because if all is friends of Daru, none is daring to attack us, or else the rest is squishing them. Is there a Daru uprising from these mysterious creatures to come? Probably not, but if there was, we may just be powerless to do anything. But remember, that's just a theory. A cow theory. Nah, I'm just messing. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If anyone wants to hear more lore from the game, leave a suggestion in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Remember to give this video a like and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. See yas!